Sure. Now this is around from 500 BC onwards, the Roman architecture that I am talking about. So one of the structures, this is St. Peter's Basilica. Now this was constructed in uh, year 370. Uh, this is St. Peter's. This is 330, and it's 330 AD. Now it has got a fountain inside this dome-like structure inside this, and then behind this is known as the atrium. The front portion is known as the atrium here. This one, atrium, ATRUM, and you have a dome structure, and behind this is the fountain in a courtyard, and then there are small aisles, AISLE, aisles behind these. So now this is a shift from the Greek architecture that I showed you. Now in Greek architecture, there were long columns, there was no dome, there would be no atrium. The opening was uh, quite tall and narrow. Now the second structure is the San Lorenzo. Now this is in Milan, Italy, and it was constructed in 350. No, it's around yes, it's 350 AD. Now this structure also has an atrium behind this, which is a courtyard behind this, and that has got columns. The courtyard behind this has got columns. This, and behind that there is a central hallway. Behind that structure is the central hallway. So this is, again, you don't have a dome, but a half dome like structure in front here. This is the second Roman structure. Then another Roman structure, this is the Sabina, Santa Sabina, and it's in Rome, present day Rome. And you have this structure was constructed in 430 AD. And that's now this structure again has an outer portion. Let me check if there's a plan. There's an outer portion. There is an aisle behind these columns. These are the columns, and then at the end you have a semicircular structure here. This is quite a simple structure. Then you have San Stefano in Rome. Which one? Yes, this is it's also known as the Rotunda, and because it's a rotating, it has got the porch outside. The outside portion is the porch, this one. And you have the inner aisle portion. And now this structure has a dome at the top. So dome structures where now this structure was constructed around 468 AD. Then you have Saint Vitali Basilica. This is in Rome, in Ravenna. The structure. Now this is a unique architecture which has got a, if I, there's a plan here. Here. Yes, there is an inner portion which is known as the nave, the aisle around it, the apse portion which goes up, and this is the narthex portion. Now, and here there is ambulatory portion. So it's going up inside like this. The structure has got stairs going up like this towards the top, and they are the stairs are in spiral formation towards going towards the top. Now, all these structures are actually the structures which resemble somewhat like at the same time you had a transformation happening in the Persian area as well. So Persian civilization was also, so both civilizations were gradually moving up together, and so they had Persian civilization could copy from here, and these had copied certain features from there. There is one more. This is Saint Apollinaire Basilica. Now, the inner, now you can see that there is a dome-like structure at towards the end, which is known as the nave. This, and then you have the narthex portion towards, and there are aisles behind these columns. So this portion, the dome, and this is the nave portion. Rather, this is known as the apse portion, the dome portion, and this is the nave. And these are the aisles behind us, and this is the narthex. And the most complex of all these structures is this one, St. Mark's Basilica. This is in Venice, the present-day Venice. This, you can see there are many domes here, and the domes have the shape at the top which resembles the Persian and the Islamic architecture as well. Many portions which have domes at the top, and there are aisles at around. So there are less columns here, and this central portion is again the nave, and there is a fountain at the back of this. So This is the sanctuary in the front. So this is quite a complex design, but it's a recent architecture around 1000 AD. Then there is a church of Nativity. Now this is in Bethlehem. This one, and it's resting on all on columns. This structure, and towards the end there is a nave portion, and these are the aisles in front. So you also have the gallery above here, and here, and there was an atrium behind on the front side which has been destroyed. It's not there any longer, and there were minarets here in this church, which is a unique feature. Then we from the Roman, you have this Hagia Sophia, which was constructed in Constantinople, the present day Istanbul. You have, this is the Constantinople. Now this has got domes as well as, there is a main dome here, and there are hemidomes or the semi-domes behind this one and this one. The minarets were constructed later on. They were not originally in the original structure. So, and then you have, there are a ring of 40 windows here at the top of this dome. There are around 40 windows out there. This structure is has got a unique feature of the dome. The dome is constructed over one circle over the other. There are four circles of domes uh, over which they are constructed, and the half domes all have buttresses at the bottom which are connected to the main dome. You must have seen the columns are also there within the Hagia Sophia, and now those columns have a unique capital at the top, and these actually resemble the Greek architecture of the column capitals at the top, which have like the bird's wings at the top. So apart from Hagia Sophia, there are many more which were constructed in Constantinople, like Hagia Irene is one, which resembles the Hagia Sophia, and these were constructed around the same time in the 11th century. So this is Hagia Irene in Constantinople. Then you have a similar structure, the Church of Holy Apostles, and this is Athens. Although it does not have a dome, but it has small dome-like features. But the main principle of construction is almost the same. Then you have, now again, this was constructed in the 11th century. Then there is a Grand Palace of Constantinople. Now this Grand Palace is from AD, let me check, 6th and the 7th century, this Grand Palace. And this is constructed in the, as you know, this is the fort of the Constantinople, and you have the different features here inside this palace. You have the palace of Porphyry side. You have the walls of Constantinople, which are very well known walls which could defend the Constantinople city for a century. And these are the walls of the Constantinople, and they were also constructed in unique formations along the river on one side, and there was the Bosphorus Sea on the other side. So, and they were constructed in layers, and there were mazes. So, as well as watchtowers at every some meters, and there were different layers of the wall constructed towards the end. You have from the Roman civilization the aqueducts as well. Aqueducts of Valence is one. This is constructed in 360 AD, around 360 AD. Now, this is in present day. This is Valence Aqueduct is present day Istanbul. You have the, then if you go to Dome of Rock in the Jerusalem, now this is constructed in 700, around 700 AD. Now, does it fall within the Roman civilization or not? A cathedral which was constructed in 12th century. There are many structures. One structure which is quite unique in the Roman civilization is the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. This is a wonderful structure which is in present-day Bulgaria. So this was constructed in recently in 18th, actually revived in recently in 18th century, 19th, 18th and 19th century. So moving away from there, if you have a look at the Italian uh, Roman structures, you mostly have, if you go from back onwards, you have the cathedrals. The one cathedral is in Pisa. This is in Italy. Now this structure has got the cathedral is inside, and there is also a cemetery on the side of this, and then you have the baptistry which was predominant there. Also, you you are aware of this leaning tower of Pisa, which is behind this structure. Has got a dome-like shape at the top, what is predominant in these structures is you will find long columns on the periphery, but inside there are long walls in all these structures, which are in the modern day Italy existent as of today. And this is the Leaning Tower of Pisa, or the Campanile. It's also known as the Campanile, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Now, this was constructed around in 1000 AD. The Sant Martino Cathedral, Lucca, Italy. Now, this structure, the earlier structure which I showed you, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, if you have a look at the plan of that, which is interesting, this is the elevation. See, there are stairs going up. There is an upper stage plan and the ground stage plan. The ground diameter is around 7.66, and the upper one is around 7.32. The diameter at the top, the internal diameter at the top. So the stairs are going on the outer sphere, and there are columns here on which it's supported at the ends. And there is a complete aisle on which you can look at right from top to bottom in this 46-meter height. This tower has got a 46-meter height. There are certain structures in modern day France. Olney Church in France. Then there is one more, Abbey Box. This is a very complicated but a wonderful structure that is in Sian, France. There is one structure which is Saint Navin 7. Now you must have seen the this building somewhere in pictures. It's quite a unique structure. A long structure. It's again a UNESCO World Heritage Center. Then you have some of the remaining structures in Germany. There is one, Hamburg Cathedral, Germany. This one. There is Trial Cathedral. Again, this is an apse. If you see, arts have been used as well along with the. These are half domes because these were constructed in 1000 AD. So now they have the arch and these which were predominant in this century, in the last century. Then you have the Würzburg Cathedral. This one again constructed in around 1000 AD. Belgium. This is quite an architectural marvel from inside. And if you move to Portugal, there is this structure, Old Cathedral of Coimbra in Portugal. This has got a courtyard which has got arch, just like in the you have in the medieval architecture, the Persian architecture with the mazes, which are the feature of you must have all seen in the Mughal architecture. The Mughal architecture has all these features. So now these two are actually resembling because you had the Spain um, and the Portugal where uh, the structures there were around till 1100 AD. They were all built, building. It's now the features of this building are this not this one. This one. This is this is the All Saints Church in Northamptonshire. You have the vault design here in the British. These are the vault designs. These are not the domes. These are the vaults. And you there is a nave portion behind this, and the columns and the walls are located together here on the exterior periphery. And there is a Canterbury Cathedral. We'll all rejoin if the session closes. Now this is in Hans Musel. It's in the present day. Uh, Probably it's in